Self-love is back to worthy and being able to be vulnerable and being able to be wrong and being able to feel uncomfortable feelings. Without doing that, we can't even begin to open ourselves up to receive. Good morning, guys. We are your hosts, Lori
and Shanice, certified spiritual life coaches, and we're so glad you're here. Welcome to Coaching Sessions, a series here on Branching In, where we coach you through various life challenges.
Yes, and we'd also love it if you could just take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us to have your support as we continue to spread more self-awareness. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the rhythm between giving and receiving and how important it is to balance them. And also, guys, stay tuned for some helpful coaching tips that we are going to put out at the end of this podcast. So I just want to start out with this really cool quote. The author is unknown, and it starts with, "The entire universe operates in cycles similar to our inhalations and our exhalations. When you only exhale, give, or only inhale, receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energy, and replenishment, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation."
Oh my God. That quote really shifted my entire perception of giving and receiving. I had never thought to equate it to an inhale and an exhale, and like how you need both to
Yeah.
live.
Like it's your lifeline, and they equally have the same value. There's really put it in perspective to me. You equally inhale as you exhale. They're equally important. So there's
Yes.
not one above the other.
Yeah.
Mm,
Which has not been the case, and I know we're gonna get into that.
y-
But yes, they are equal. Both are equally as important. You need both.
Yeah, keep that in the back of your mind as we continue the podcast. So Shanice, so talk to us. What, what has your experience been with this giving and receiving in your life? How has that balance been for you?
So I'll start with a story about my abuelo, my grandfather. He worked at a sugarcane field in Puerto Rico. Um, as a child, that was how he was able to supplement some income for his family. And there were a lot of them in like one very small little home. And a lot of the time, he would go without dinner, without food to make sure that his mom was able to eat and that his siblings were able to eat that day. And so I grew up watching my abuelo to be like very, very giving, very kind. He always just wanted to give. Even like I would watch my abuela, my grandmother, cook, and he wouldn't eat until everyone else had eaten. He would not touch his plate just in case someone wanted seconds or thirds. He didn't want to eat until everyone else had eaten. So that mentality stayed with him for a long time. Anytime anyone tried to give him anything, my God, it was almost like offensive to him. Like, no, 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 no. What are you thinking? Like, he was the giver. He was the giver. He didn't receive. So, of course, my mom grew up, idolized her father, idolized him. And so she was the same way. She believed that was the way to be, right? We give and we don't receive. So I inherited those same beliefs. Give, 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 don't receive. It was offensive to receive. Like, don't even offer me anything. And so that was my mentality for almost my entire life. Receiving was just, it was not seen as a good thing. It was the giving was holy, receiving was not. And so that was the life I lived.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah, share it. So what's your story?
Yeah, Shanice, same. You know, my childhood too was all about giving, not receiving. It was definitely more honorable to give. Like you were definitely more of a hero. It definitely you got idolized by giving. And it really was like you looked down upon by receiving and you looked up like, my gosh, you're amazing for giving. So there was definitely that contrast that I seen. And for me, my religion growing up in Christianity was all about give, give, give to the poor, give to the weak, give, do not receive. It was more about giving. If you have it, give it away.
Yeah.
Don't keep anything, give it
Right.
away. I just remember for me too, and growing up, and like my mom, I would, have to ask permission, if I could receive. If somebody like our neighbor would come by, and when I had a really wonderful neighbor, older man, and I was like 5 years old, and he wanted to always give me some kind of toy or some type of food or something. And because I always went over to play with him and his dogs, and I had to ask my mom, can I take this gift? And she would have to be really like, oh, it was and I know my parents had a hard time receiving. So I too really had a hard time receiving, and I had to ask permission to receive. So definitely what that did for me is growing up with that as I got older, like you were saying, became an over giver.
Yeah.
Like, because I believed giving is what it's all about. And that it's all the only thing it's about. I shouldn't say, because giving still is great. It's just not only giving.
Yeah, that imbalance of
Th
just
So I
giving
was
and
so
never receiving.
lopsided. I was completely out of balance, definitely had struggled to receive,
Yeah.
struggled, and didn't have to think twice about giving. Not even if it didn't make sense, which actually most of my overgiving obviously did not make sense. I didn't think about it. I just gave.
Yeah, I whenever someone would try to give me something, I would almost like feel panic in my body.
Yeah,
It felt so wrong. And I never even looked at that deeper. It was just so ingrained. You give, you don't receive.
yeah.
Um,
It felt like that feeling you're talking about, it felt like it was supposed to feel like that.
yes.
Right? So,
Yes.
that feeling of, "This is uncomfortable to receive," it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable because I'm not supposed to receive.
Mhm.
So, I was able to justify and, validate that that receiving is not good for me, because it didn't feel good for me.
Yeah.
It's just like,
No,
doesn't
it
feel
did.
good, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And having that, like watching other people and just having that example played out over and over again just made it like, yeah, no, this is what's right. You give and you don't receive. I
Yeah.
watched my mom her whole life always wanting to give, always so uncomfortable receiving. And so that was just normal. It became normal. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then so why is there an imbalance? Which we were just kind of talking about. We talked about why we had the imbalance,
Mhm.
from our childhood, and the imbalance for us.
Yeah.
Our example is just being overgivers and not being able to receive.
Yeah.
What have you noticed why there's such an imbalance with this giving and receiving?
Yeah. So in our society, people associate generosity with the act of giving, right? And then view receiving as selfish. And that's exactly what it was. Like that's what I felt. Anytime anyone tried to give me something, I felt like I had to say no because I'm like, no, that's selfish. I couldn't receive. I didn't want to be a selfish person.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, agreed. It's like, and you and I can probably totally both relate to this. When we give, we're like in control. Like, we have the control. We're the alpha. We're the giver. It's definitely a masculine energy.
Yeah.
Even when we talk about masculine and feminine energy, which we'll talk about on another podcast, but the female being the receiver, and the
Mhm.
male being the giver, like, we are in this masculine controlling energy, right?
Yeah.
That we get to decide what and when and how and who gets what,
Yeah.
right? Who we give to and how we do it. It does give this sense of control.
And a sense of pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our ego likes that.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, of course, there were so many things I mentioned earlier too, even within religions. I know one repeated phrase in my upbringing, Catholic, was said over and over and over again every mass that you repeated was, I am not worthy to receive you. So there was some feeling of not feeling worthy that really hits, that to receive, you have to feel worthy. And am I worthy? Like, I had to question that to be able to
Yeah.
receive.
Yeah, it's twofold because receiving requires us to let go of that control, that masculine energy, and get into our feminine energy of accepting and receiving. It asks us to accept what's being offered, which can be uncomfortable, especially if, like you just said, there's feelings of not being worthy enough to receive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like some religions, I mean, I I was raised with Catholicism, Christianity. That really, oh my God, Lori, like on top of seeing my family and how they gave and felt uncomfortable receiving. And then Catholicism on top of that was just like receiving was just like very demonized. It was the bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, same. And for me, the other imbalance that hit me so hard was what I started saying earlier was I felt like I needed to ask permission to
Mm.
receive. Like again, it, stems from, you know, also not feeling worthy. So needing that validation outside of myself to receive. Like, is this okay? And there's that uncomfortable feeling coming in because, again, part of it is that worthy. It was so tagged along with receiving. To me, the
Yeah.
worth and receiving were connected so tightly
Yeah.
that if I didn't have my worth, which I didn't for most of my life,
Mhm.
how the heck was I going to receive? Um,
Exactly. They they go hand in hand.
yeah,
Yeah, and also feeling like we need to earn something in order to receive it, like we have to earn that receptivity. That makes it even harder because it's like, someone offers you something that's like, "Oh, well, I didn't earn this,"
I didn't do.
and then yeah, and then you wanna say, "No, no, thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah, so that also really creates that imbalance.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, and if our parents had a hard time receiving, we learned from them that it's not safe. It's
Mhm.
not safe. Back in the day, danger with the stranger, obviously, don't receive anything from strangers, has also, I think, some part of it. We're weary of what we're receiving too. Like, are we trusting of it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a trust aspect. Like, when we're giving back to the control, right? So we're giving, there's control. I know who I'm giving to. I know who this is. I've got a comfort, right? There's control. You have to open, you have to trust. And, we can't trust everything and everybody. Obviously, some things you don't want to receive. But the point is, it's a lot more vulnerability with receiving,
Yeah,
right?
so
And
much more vulnerability. Yeah.
before doing the work that we do, that we put together in our classes is we weren't able to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
so how could we comfortably receive?
Yeah.
That's where the imbalance is too, in the level of self-love, the level of
Yes.
all of that, because self-love is back to worthy and being able to be vulnerable and being able to be wrong and being able to feel uncomfortable feelings. Without doing that, we can't even begin to open ourselves up to receive. And there's where a big imbalance in receiving and where the giving is just easy. And there's all this control and knowing. And we know what that is.
And I'm glad you brought up love because and I think I've said this on an earlier podcast where one belief that I became aware of, a limiting belief, was that I felt like I had to earn love. And in this context, how on earth was I ever going to like allow myself to receive love if I felt like I had to earn it? And I think that's such a major thing worldwide for that belief that we need to earn love. And literally, that belief is stopping us from receiving love.
Yes.
So crazy.
Yes. And it's because we're out there all wanting, love. I mean, we all do. I mean, really, deep down, I know I do. But a big block is unconsciously, unknowingly, I didn't know I wasn't receiving. Like, I didn't even think receiving played a part in
Yeah.
that this whole thing that, the inhale and the exhale, that it was part of my breathing. It
Hmm.
was part of how I was operating on one leg. I
Yeah.
was limping through and trying to manifest and get everything I want. I was, having these shallow breaths, not
Yeah.
full breaths, because
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. I had no knowledge of that. And again, I wasn't conditioned with that at all.
Yeah. We were unconsciously living half a life, just trying to exhale.
Yeah, exactly. And we were wondering why we're tired. We need oxygen.
No
Really.
wonder, Lori.
Well, think about the energy in that. If you're just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot of energy and to take a full inhalation and exhalation. That's why I love that first quote because it really
Puts it in
it-
perspective.
and it gives me the permission.
Mhm.
it makes me see the value in both ends of this, which is really moving us right into Shanice, like what this taught us. Like, I know for me, it taught me so much. Like we're just saying, it's like to be able to live a whole life by doing both.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. It's just so, this was eye opening that
No,
we
no,
came through all of this.
we've learned so much. So one thing that I realized was that I was trying to receive by over giving. So unconsciously, of course, the giving was coming from a need because I wasn't allowing myself to receive. So just constantly giving,
Going
giving.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like in an attempt to receive, but then not allowing myself to receive. So just like stuck in that and the endless like hamster wheel of
Yeah.
over giving while desperately actually wanting to receive, but never allowing myself to receive.
Yeah, it's like it kept missing you. I did the same thing. I'm like overgiving in my relationships and boyfriends, overgiving. I'm trying to receive some love.
Yeah.
And my heart wasn't even open to it in the first place. So it wouldn't
Mhm.
even matter. But feeling the route was I had, like you said, earn it. How do I earn it? By giving you a lot, by
Yeah.
giving you everything. And I
Yeah.
think then only then will I be like, if you give me something, I'll be like, yeah, I earned that. I deserve
Yes.
that.
I can
I'll take
allow
that.
myself to receive it because I earned it.
I take those flowers.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the trap.
Um, yeah, for me, the value just something as simple as just receiving a compliment. I know I struggled with this and it still is not always that comfortable. I working through this always, and it's funny because I have children that always catch you through all of this. I've always had a hard time, like, somebody I didn't even so unconscious, until somebody catches my daughter will be like, "Mom, you didn't even say anything. They just said, "Oh, you look nice," or something." Honestly, I have to, like, almost I would go right over it. Like, I would not even it was just crazy how I would not allow that to sink in, and I was like or I'd make something up like, "Oh my god, you gotta be kidding," or, "Oh my god, I do not look good today," or, like, I would take it away.
Yeah.
Whatever they said, I would literally throw that right back at them and say, "Don't give me that. I don't
Yeah.
want your beautiful compliment." And
Yeah. And it's so funny because I don't think most people realize that when you refuse to receive something, you're actually taking away the gift that that person is trying to give you,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that giving is receiving and receiving is giving.
Like
So
when
when we
you
receive, we're giving.
Yes, I was just going to say that when we receive a gift, we're actually giving that person a gift. Like truly, because when you're giving something out of excitement and the purity of your heart, it's exciting, just exciting to have that person receive it with a smile on their face. It's either joy on their face. Like that in itself is a form of receiving.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. And I know when I've given people compliments and if they don't receive that, it does feel like not that great because you know what I mean? It's like you said something nice, that taught me too that is I'm literally throwing what they gave him. It'd be like saying they give me something and I crumple it up and throw it on the ground and stomp on it. you know, like
Yeah.
I have, no appreciation whatsoever for this gift that they gave me, as small as a compliment that it was. And just that awareness in itself, knowing that that is me giving since I love giving,
Mhm.
is taking the compliment and receiving it is a form of giving. That really helped me. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
form of giving. I can do that.
Yes, yes. It actually made it easier because I'm like, well, wait a second. Me receiving it is giving. And as a giver, it's like, oh, okay, it's just another way to give yourself permission to receive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, whatever it takes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just important that we see the value in both the giving and receiving. Cause I know I did not see this and the value it's equal and we need both. We can't even attract the right person or experiences or jobs or any abundance in our lives if we have this underlying belief that we don't deserve them
Yeah.
and we can't receive. And again, then we're complaining and we're like, I'm the victim and I never get anything I want. But can we though? Can we though?
Yeah.
Are we open to receive? Really? Like, really? And you have to really be honest with yourself because I know for me, it took a lot of denial for a while before I could really check in here and going, yeah, I'm not receiving. I'm not so I can't be like saying I'm not getting everything I want. I'm not even open to it.
Yeah.
And again, very unconsciously until again, deep diving and doing back to this inner work that we continually talk about.
Yeah, that's such a good point because it's like you can't receive what you believe you don't deserve.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
As
you
simple as
can't.
that.
And so really receiving comes with so much self-love work because and I have found this to be true. Like the more I have cared for myself and nurtured and poured love into me, the more comfortable I've gotten with receiving because I feel worthy to receive because that worth comes from the inside. No one can give that to you. You know, that's something you have to cultivate from within. And once you do, I've noticed receiving is so much simpler now. Like there isn't so much stigma
Yeah.
attached to it as there was
And
before.
it feels good. The uncomfortable part changed.
Hmm.
It feels good, you know? I mean, when I like you said, when by doing this inner work and really like, my God, myself loves receiving. It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm actually so excited and happy and appreciative and more grateful than ever because
Yes.
it's a newer thing too, you know, a newer concept. So it's like my gratitude is huge.
Yeah.
Um, when you are able to experience the receiving equally as the giving.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're more balanced. I mean, I know like we're still this is something we're both still working on. But I've already noticed more balance in my life, allowing myself to receive.
yeah.
Yeah. Like more
Same,
harmony.
same,
Yeah.
same. And it just fills you with a joy. Like
Yeah.
I was, missing this
Yeah.
piece of joy, that's in the receiving. There's so much to the receiving. It's unbelievable. Like it's like, yeah, it really just it fills you up. It's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a gift.
Yeah. Yes. And now instead of just trying to give all the time, give joy, now we're able to give that to ourselves and receive it.
And we can even give more. We
Yeah.
can give more joy and love because we're able to receive it.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're full. We have it to give. So it's not like coming from emptiness or out of, little ego traps, or it's like it's truly coming from this place of expansion.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference too.
Yes. No, it really does. It
The
really
giving is
does.
lighter. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like the breaths are fuller and lighter. And yeah, this is just great awareness.
Yeah. So let's get into the coaching tips so that our listeners can get into the habit of receiving. Well, for those of you who aren't already in the habit.
Yes,
I know
exactly.
not everyone struggles with this. I also know many people who do. So
Yeah.
if you're one of those, I think these will really help. So, like, one tip is the next time someone pays you a compliment, receive it. Receive it. Yes. Just say thank you.
Yeah, and Shanice, another tip is when someone offers you something that you did nothing to earn, just because, receive it.
Yes, just allow yourself to receive it. Even if you're uncomfortable, like put a hand on your stomach, like put a hand on those sensations, witness them and allow yourself to receive it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about in this whole podcast, when you do receive, there might be some discomfort in your body. Because
Hmm.
especially if it's not something that you've been conditioned to do or very conditioned to stay away from.
Yeah.
So write down whatever uncomfortable emotions you're feeling and just observe them. Just don't run from them. Sit with them because
Yeah.
every time you do it, they're not as intense. They're going to be intense, the beginning, and then they get lighter and lighter.
Yes. And then when you successfully receive something, congratulate yourself. I know that sounds silly, but it really is so important to celebrate even like the smallest of wins. It really is because you're showing yourself, you're proving to yourself that you're able to do something that's uncomfortable. And that's a really big deal. It is.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been doing it the other way for the majority of your life or, years.
Yeah.
So celebrate yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's the small wins that create the big wins.
Exactly.
So by really congratulating yourself on all the small, tiny little steps just creates that big win at the end of it all. So the
Yeah.
small is more important than anything. So agreed, just congratulate. I know I'm guilty of this is good advice for me as well. Congratulate myself when I do receive something because this has not always been that, comfortable for me to do.
Yeah, I have to remind myself, like, hey, this is worthy of celebrating. It doesn't matter how small it is, and maybe I'll go get myself a little treat that day or something.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, Shanice, in this episode, we shared the rhythm of the inhale and the exhale, which, as we just learned, is giving and receiving.
That's right. And if this conversation resonated, visit us at awakenbootcamps.com. The link is in the description where you can go deeper in our 10-week bootcamp, Awaken into Authenticity, specifically category 8, day 4, and learn more about giving and receiving. It's awesome. And that's it for this episode. If this episode spoke to you, give us a thumbs up down below. Subscribe and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. And thank you guys for listening to Branching In with Shanice
And Lori, join us for our next episode. We post on Fridays. See you guys then.